Hey everybody, a lot of you won't know me who watch this because you'll be from the US. My name is Emma Dalmain. I'm an autism rights advocate. I'm autistic myself. I have autistic children. I run an organisation. I've written 2 books on autism which have been published, not by myself. I've appeared on the BBC and with multiple media. I report parents who believe they can cure their children with treatments. Not even treatments. You know, some of them are bleach, turpentine, GC Math, which is a banned blood product. Parents are turning to alternative treatments because of the despairing rhetoric that is pushed by pages and people I'm going to mention in a minute. Now, when you have your child diagnosed autistic, and you don't know anything about autism, you may experience a little bit of sadness. Now, I did, but I experienced sadness because I was angry that I hadn't realised that my son was autistic, and I was pissed with myself that I hadn't realised that I was, and that my other children are, 5 of them. So I have 6, 5 are on the spectrum. I didn't realise, and this annoyed me greatly, but when something is your normal, you don't see anything different until you think, oh, hold on a minute, I did that when I was little, I did this, I did that, I've always felt different. Oh, you know, and I was subsequently diagnosed. Now, there is a page called Finding Cooper's Voice, and everyone's going to go, oh, because yes, I've done 2 videos about Cooper's Voice before, and I only made this video today actually because I made these videos maybe a year and a half ago, and I'm still getting so much hatred over them. And you know, I only got a message yesterday, you're jealous because she's beautiful, Kate's beautiful, and you're jealous because you don't do anything for autism. Well, I run 5 groups, 3 are multinational, international groups where I support parents across the globe with help from some brilliant autistic admins. I run 8 pages, which are also international. I run an autistic organisation with the help of some wonderful directors, and I support parents daily up until midnight, up until 1, 2 in the morning, by messenger, by phone, whatever it takes, because I remember what it felt like not knowing anything. And the worst thing you can do when you've got a new parent who is worried, you know, whose child, it's just been suggested that they might be autistic, or it's just been, you know, they've just been told that their child is autistic, is to do what Kate does, which is a video called The Last Time We Believe This Is Going to Be Okay. Doesn't help, Kate. Honestly, like, you dragged Cooper to to an Elmo show, which was overwhelming, and he was on the floor screaming, and that's your cue when you remove him, you take him out of there, but you refused to do that because you wanted him to see the Elmo show. And the last time you believed it was going to be okay is because other people were staring at you, younger kids were staring, you know, Cooper likes things that are so-calledly younger than his age, which a lot of us do. A lot of autistic people do. There's nothing wrong with that. But to put your son into a situation that is overwhelming and then moan that he couldn't handle it, I'm sorry, is not right. You've created an echo chamber for mothers to go, oh, it's terrible, it's so terrible, we've had a really bad day, I've had a really bad day, you've had a really, let me tell you about my day. There's no, God, I've had a really bad day, but this is what I'm going to do to support my son tomorrow. This is what we're going to do to support Ella tomorrow. This is what we're going to put in place to make sure this doesn't happen again. There's none of that. There's none of that. There's a video called You Can't Let Cooper Win, because she wanted to go to a hotel for Christmas, and his anxiety stopped her. So we can't let his anxiety win. Maybe he wants to stay at home, Kate. He apparently has a 8-hour day with ABA and feeding therapy. 8 hours of therapy. 8 hours for a child. You know, ABA is a conversion therapy. It's a compliance-based therapy that teaches a child to mimic the therapist, to mimic all the therapist does. If they don't, they've failed, you know. They find something that the child is passionate about, even if it's just, I don't know, something like this. Do you want this? Do this task. Do this task. Do this task. Do this task. Well done. You have 1 minute with this. Take it away. Do the task. Do the task. That's what ABA is. I applaud her because she has managed to find him the speech app, the machine that he uses to communicate. Thank God. Now he's starting to, you know, say, I want this, I want that, and she's finding it hard. Well, you know what? Your child has a voice. You don't need to find it anymore, Kate. It's not only an event on Kate, it's an event on a mother called Faith Mummy. She has a blog. You know, she did a lovely little blog. Well, loads of people loved it. I didn't. I found it repulsive. All about grieving for the child I haven't lost. Where it's, you know, my child plays in the playground, but he plays by himself. I grieve the child I never had. Really? Like, these people don't realise that these kids can one day access the internet. They may be able to. They may have a carer that can access the internet for them. And what you're putting out about your kids, it's just such an invasion of privacy. My child smears, my child does this, my child does that, my child hits himself, my child screams, I hate going out of my child. You know, my friend Reiland, a badass activist, she has exposed a group, I think it's more American based, called The Ugly Side of Severe Autism. And the parents in there put up pictures of their child's faces, they put up pictures of meltdowns, injuries, they write posts saying they wish their child wasn't alive. You know, I just wish I hadn't had them. If you're feeling that way, if you're feeling like that, take your child somewhere and say, here, have my child. Because it's echo chambers like that, alright, that will eventually support a filicide, where a parent... Actually, it has happened. It's happened many a time. There was a mother who'd put her daughter into a trailer with herself and piped some gas in through the window to kill themselves. And she had done a blog where she described, you know, that she didn't want to live anymore. She didn't want her daughter to live anymore. She didn't want her daughter to live without her anymore. You know, she didn't want to die and her daughter be alive. And I do understand the fear that parents have of what happens to their child when they die. I do understand that. We all have that fear. But to wish your child not be alive, to not give them the tools to put in place to survive, or give the people around them tools in order to look after them when you're gone, to just give up. You can't give up. You know, you've got a child, and as soon as you get pregnant, you have to be prepared that your child may turn out to have a disability. You know, they may have a disability, they may not want to marry, they may not want to have children, they, you know, they may not be what you thought they were going to be, and that's fine, because they're a person and they should be allowed to have their individuality. It's just, it's heartbreaking to me as an autistic adult, and to many autistic adults, to see what's being pushed, you know. We've got so many charities over here as well. We've got Thinking Autism, which is pushing a recovering, healing rhetoric. We've got the Autism Trust, which is run by Polly Tommy, who is a member of Vaxxed. Lots of misinformation there. I should also mention as well that Kate uses naturopathy on Cooper, which is unproven, unregulated. You know, there's no scientific proof that this works, and she's just literally... I don't even know what she's trying on him. Like, Kate, please just accept Cooper. ABA is not the way to go, honestly. Speech and language, yes, you found a way for him to communicate, that's brilliant. He does not need to be trained. No child needs to be trained. There are gentle, child-led therapies that can be put in place. I know I'll get attacked for this video. I got attacked for the last one. And that's okay. You know, as parents of autistic children, you're attacking autistic adults. The things that have been said to Eve Reiland, who is autistic, is disgusting. Her children have been targeted as well. They've messaged her children. Campaigning against autistic rights, I've been threatened with rape. I've been threatened with being killed. And I won't stop speaking out, because we deserve to live in a world where we're not depicted as an epidemic. We're not depicted as suffering. We don't have our parents out putting videos saying, you can't let us win. Win what? Win what? There's no war.